Hey everyone, I hope you're ready to work on some shoulder mobility. Okay, so I'm going to be kneeling down on the mat, but you could be standing for some of these, sitting on a chair, whatever feels best. So feel comfortable. You do not have to be kneeling if that doesn't work well for you. So to start, we're just going to be doing some arm circles. So we're reaching those arms up towards the ceiling, opening them up wide to the outside, and circling all the way around. I'm just really reaching through those hands, warming up, seeing how they feel right now. Maybe you feel like one arm is just going with the flow, and the other arm feels like the circle is more like an octagon or a triangle. We're going to do this last one in this direction, and then we're reversing it, going it back, and all the way up, and all the way forward. Again, just take that little time to check in. I know I've been doing lots of upper body work myself, so because of that, my right shoulder feels like it's a little clunkier than the left one. My left one's typically stronger, so that's just how my body is. So that's how it's gonna look like today. And that's totally okay. We're doing this last one here, and then we're gonna take these arms and we're gonna do little stirs. So we're gonna bring them out to the outside. Doesn't matter which direction you're going in, but just trying to make those stirs nice and small and controlled. Really reaching through those fingers, feel the burn start. If you feel like it's all up in your neck, you can always tuck your chin in. Sometimes that helps relieve some of the tension. And then we're going to reverse that. These are like silent and tiny but deadly killers. And then you can come back on down. So then we're going to do just some side bends. So one hand can be on your hip, while the other hand can either be behind your head, soft bend in the elbow, or straight arms. And we're going to side bend over and then back on up. If you are on the mat, you can always bring one hand down and side bend over this way. We're going to do one last one here. And then back on up, and then switching hands. So whether you want the hand on your hip, if that's what works best for you, because you're standing or seated, or you have the hand on the mat if you are sitting down here, kneeling with me. We're gonna do one last one, and then coming all the way on up. So then we're going to stretch out either the back line of our shoulder or into our deltoids here. So I always like having my elbow bent on my upper arm, not on my lower arm, because on my lower arm, it's easy to bend at the elbow, and then it makes it an elbow thing, rather than right up in your shoulder. I'm just inhaling and exhaling here, so just breathe deep. You can always take the stretch to a bigger point, and then release, and then making it bigger if that's what works well for you. If not, just holding and breathing, trying to let those muscles relax and release at their own time. And then when you're ready, you can carefully release that arm, and then we're doing the other side here. So again, giving yourself that nice pull, and keeping the shoulder down and away from your ear. There's a tendency to want to let it come up, so just keeping it down. Let it all go. We're gonna have one last big breath here. And then releasing that arm. So then we're gonna go in for a tricep stretch. So we're going to bring one hand, it's gonna reach down to our back. Our other hand can grab hold of the elbow and push it back behind us. If you're not into this, you can always grab hold of your other hand and then pulling it down back behind like this. Or if you're super bendy, I'm not, you could reach back, grab hold of your fingers. Also, I'm watching the way and my ring, which catches on everything. And then when you're ready, you can carefully release that arm, and then again, other side, reaching back, If this is a place that feels good for you, you could stay here. If not, you could grab hold of your fingers, give yourself a little pull this way, or you can reach back behind. I can touch on this side and grabbing hold of your fingers there. And then when you're ready, you can carefully release that. So we're going to bring our hands down onto the mat. We are going to do a dog stretch. If you're not into weight bearing on your hands, you can always do these on your elbows. We're going to step one foot back, the other foot back, reaching back through those feet, reaching into those fingertips. If you need to, soften your knees because you're looking to get a big stretch to your chest here. So think about lowering your chest down towards the mat. And staying nice and long through your spine here. We're going to have one more big breath here. And then you're going to come forward. You're going to bring your knees down. You may need to walk your hands out a little further. And then we're going to do puppy pose. So puppy pose is just like downward dog. You're going to keep knees either over top of your, hips over top of your knees. Think about lowering your chest down towards the mat. You could keep your eyes forward or just straight down into the mat. And you're looking for a big stretch, opening up in either your underarm, your chest, maybe the backs of your shoulders here. And again, just those big breaths. If ever you need to release the stretch, release it when you need to. We're going to have just one more big breath here. And then you're going to come all the way back on in. Really good job, guys. Those ones are kind of monsters to do. So then we're going to bring hands over to one side of your mat. You're going to sit yourself back in the opposite hip. Again, looking for a stretch through maybe underarm area, side bend, possibly even into your hip, depending on where you're tight. We're going to have two more breaths here, taking it nice and slow. And on this exhale, you're going to come back on up. You're going to bring your hands over to the other side of your mat, sitting yourself back in that opposite hip again, looking for that big side bend, that big stretch. But always reaching through your fingers and almost pressing your hands down into the mat to stay nice and active. And then when you're ready, you're going to come back on up. We're going to come onto all fours. We're going to add in a little bit of a twist here. So you're going to take one hand, you're going to reach it up towards the ceiling, really push that hand back behind you, and then you're going to bring it all the way down and through, threading it underneath you, pressing that shoulder down towards the mat. And then when you're ready, take a great big inhale again, reaching up towards the ceiling, and exhaling, threading through. One more time here, inhaling all the way up, get that big rotation, and exhaling all the way down and through. On this last one, you can hold for an extra breath. If you'd like, you can bring your other hand back behind, or opening it up towards the ceiling. Big twist. And then you're going to take that top hand, you're going to place it back down on the mat. Use it to press yourself all the way back on up. And then we're going to do 3 on the other side. So when you're ready, take that great big inhale on the opposite arm, lifting and twisting, threading through on the exhale. And then inhaling to lift. And then exhaling to thread through. One more time, inhaling to lift all the way up. And then exhaling to twist through. When you come all the way down, if you can, placing your head and your shoulder down on the mat, you could either bring the hand just back behind you, lifting up, looking up towards the ceiling, or if you want something bigger, keep the arms straight and really reach through those fingers. Try to open up your chest as much as you can towards the ceiling. And if you're not here yet, do not worry about it. This is not detrimental to your shoulder mobility. This is just an extra. You're going to have this last breath here, and then you're going to come back in, placing your hands down and walking your hands back on up. Okay, so then we're going to lay down on our stomach. So lay yourself all the way down. And then we're going to basically do snow angel arms, but because we're going to be stomach down rather than back down, we got to have a little bit of lifting going on here. So you can rest your forehead or your cheek down into the mat. I'm going to go cheek just because it's easier for me to talk to you. You're going to lift the arms up. You're going to circle around. Feel like you're going to try and touch them towards each other back behind you, and then circling them all the way back forward again. All the way back around. Again, you can rest your head down. It's just a little easier for you guys to hear me when I got my head up or I'm facing you. We're going to do this last one here. Awesome. So you can relax those arms back down for a quick second. And then what we're going to do is we're going to bring our hands behind our back. We're going to have one on top of the other. Whichever one you instinctively put on top, flip it over, put it on the bottom. No real reason, it's just, good to break habits. So you're going to walk those hands up as high up your back as you can. It's okay if they don't go far. Leave those hip bones pressing down into towards the mat, just so that your back feels supported. And then you're going to reach through those hands long, and then back on down. Then again, reaching through your hands, and then back on down. We're going to do one last one here, and then back on down. You can carefully press yourself back on up. We're going to come back into a seated position, so you can have legs either bent or long on your mat. I have my legs bent because it makes me feel more comfortable in my hip flexors. I don't like tensing in my back. So we're going to have our hands back behind us. It's up to you on how far they go. Harder version would be back a little farther and only shoulder distance apart. Easier would be in a little closer and going a little wider than shoulder distance apart, or even wider than your mat. Again, find your level of oomph and work within that. So pressing through those hands. We're not going to think about going lower. All we're going to do is think about lifting up in our chest, and you should find a big stretch through your shoulders. If you don't find it, then you may need to scoot yourself a little lower and try again. Really kind of arching your back, pushing your chest forward. Big inhale, exhaling to release. We're going to do a few more here. Inhaling, pressing on up. If you're locking in your elbows, you can always soften them. We're going to do one last one. And then we're going to come all the way on in. When we come all the way in, we can carefully either cross legs, sit up tall, whatever you want to do. And then all we're going to do is a couple shoulder rolls. So hands can either be on your knees, wherever feels best. Just let them relax. And then we're going to take those little arms and we're going to lift them up, pull them back all the way down. And just feel your shoulder blades pull apart, lift, pull together, and then rotate. So it's almost like they're going up and around. You're gonna have this last one here. Awesome, and then take those arms, palms are deep facing in. We're going to open and close and open on a great big inhale, Closing on your exhale. One more time. Open everything up. Open up in your chest. Open up your heart to the world. And then exhale, come all the way back on in. Okay, so that's it for our shoulder mobility. So if you are feeling good, light, mobile in those shoulders, but also just that teensy tiny bit tired, then let me know in the comments down below. I absolutely love hearing from you guys. It makes me feel so special when I get either new subscribers or new comments, new likes, all those things. And I just want to share the love back to you guys. So I hope you have a wonderful day. Let me know if you have any other video requests, and I will see you all very, very soon. Bye!